This week I tried the impossible, to read 7 books in 7 days. That's 1 book every single day. No skips, no DNFs, no excuses. And if I fail, I have to buy and give away a book. Now some of these books have been haunting my TBR for years. Toni Morrison, Max Porter, ML Rio, and I'm finally facing them all in 1 week. Will I survive, or will this TBR challenge take me out? Your guess is honestly as good as mine, but I'm ready to try. Guys, it is day 1. I'm super excited. No, we're gonna crush this challenge. We are starting off strong with a cute, eerie little dark academia whodunit, perfect for fall if I do say so myself, and it's Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. If you read If We Were Villains, you already know her writing is dark, moody, and just unmatched. The style is unmatched. So my hopes, they're high. Afternoon, ladies and gents. It is day 2. I finished the Graveyard Shift yesterday and it was okay. I feel like thinking about it in hindsight, I'll give it like a 3-star. Now there were multiple POVs and each character was extremely unique as they were working together to try to uncover the details of this brand new grave at this church that they frequented. The gothic vibes were so cool. It was definitely giving like Tim Burton, but my problem was because the book was so short, it was like 122 pages. By the time I was invested in the story and these characters, the book was already over. On the plus side though, at the end of the book there was a playlist and a drink list, which I thought was pretty cool. Now I did listen to all the songs in the playlist. It was on Spotify, and I'm not gonna lie, some of them were really good, but a lot of them I was just like, this ain't for me. Some of them were really good though, I will say. Again, some of them were really good. So book 1 done. It was gothic, it was moody, but not life-changing. Now on to book number 2, which I'm genuinely so excited about. It is Recitatif by Toni Morrison. Now this book has such a unique concept. It is about 2 young orphan girls who grew up through a lot of racial strife. And as they're growing up, you're never told who is white and who is black, forcing you as the reader to confront your own racial biases as you read. Okay, update. This book was literally so amazing. First of all, that intro by Zadie Smith was literally one of the best things I've ever read. Even if you don't read this book, by the way, you should. It's very short. You have to read this intro. Everyone needs to read this intro. It was perfection. Literally one of the best things I've ever read. It was so insightful and so nuanced. I couldn't help but underline and tab so many lines. Easily one of my top favorite books of all time. Day 2 done, and I fear we may have peaked already. It was genuinely that good.
2 days later.
So we failed. Well, kind of. Let me explain. Today is actually day 4. Yesterday, I know you're probably wondering what happened, and I am too. I was supposed to be reading this book actually, which is called Small Boat. It was a boat that was shortlisted for this year's International Booker Prize. However, because this book was so heavy and I had so much to do, I just couldn't finish it. Not to say that this wasn't good. I actually thought it was one of the best books we've read so far. This book is about the 2021 migrant tragedy between the channels of France and the UK and how neither country decided to help them, even though they were both contacted over 14 times over the span of like 3 to 4 hours. And unfortunately, those migrants drowned. And it's really a book about who's to blame. Is it these individual countries? Are we looking for a scapegoat? Or is it really all of us as a humanity? It was so thought-provoking and just deeply moving. I didn't want to rush through it, so it did take me longer to read it, but I personally think it was worth it. I think I gave it a 4 to a 4.5 star. I'm still thinking about it, but I really enjoyed it. It's actually from the perspective of one of the Coast Guards who refused to help, and I thought it was really good. And then today, good news is we are back on track. I read this. It is Shy by Max Porter. Bad news is it was terrible. well, let me explain. I don't think it was terrible. It just like wasn't good. I feel like terrible is a strong word. I see what the author was trying to do. It's about a very troubled young man who was just trying to get his life together, trying to battle his demons, but it was super experimental. The way that it was written was very unique, and it was more of a rambling of thoughts and progressive feelings of this character than a coherent story, and it was very hard to follow at times. So I did see what the author was trying to do, but unfortunately it just didn't land that way for me. So I did give it a 2-star. I am happy we're back on track though. But if we are following the rules, which we are, we have to donate a book now because we did not finish a book in a day. I finished my book from yesterday today, which is why we are in the parking lot of Barnes currently. Now, the book that I want to donate today is my favorite book. If you've been here for a second, put it down in the comments. I hope you know it. If you said Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine, you are correct. That book changed my life, and if I have to donate a book, I want to donate a book that I hope will change someone else's life. So that is what we're going to get today. All right, I got the goods. I also got something for myself, but are we surprised? I got The Grapes of Wrath. This is an American classic, and I got it because I haven't read it yet, and I'm really on my classics and philosophical book like vibe right now, so that's why I got this. Also, I'm super excited to give this away now. I don't know, there's something about giving away books, being able to support your community that just not only obviously gives back to your community, but also makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. So if you're able, I highly recommend giving back to your community in this way. It really is so fulfilling. But enough chatting, let's do this thing. Hey you. Today is day 6, and yesterday I read a really good book. It was Hunchback. This is a book that's written by a Japanese author, and it's about the fact that she is extremely disabled in a country that does not care about disabled people. In this book, she is extremely honest, brutally honest, and she talks about how you're almost invisible in a society in this way, about how even the simplest of tasks that some people can take for granted is extremely daunting for her. An example of this is in the book, she talks about how strenuous it is for her to even pick up a physical book, for her to even turn the page. So you can imagine me as the reader reading this, talking about how much she hates physical books because it literally crushes her lungs, how ashamed I feel at the fact that that's something that I take for granted on a daily basis. And I think that stuff like that and stuff like this, these types of books are so necessary because it makes us more empathetic if this is not something that we deal with, and it helps create the change that she wants to see and other people want to see. So I highly recommend this book. I thought it was really good. I gave it a 3.5. But today I read What Feasts at Night. This is the second book to the What Moves the Dead series, and that's a book that I read last year and absolutely enjoyed. T. Kingfisher is so good at writing like the Tim Burton uncanny gothic atmosphere in books, and she did not disappoint in this one. Now I will say comparatively, I do like the first one better than this one, but this one was still so enjoyable. I ended up giving it a 4-star, and it follows the same main character from the last book, but he's in a new unique situation. And I don't want to give too much, but all I will say is if you liked the first one, you should definitely read this one. It was just so enjoyable. I could not get enough of it. I think out of all of the books, outside of just learning and being more intellectually empathetic and growing, this book was just fun for the simple enjoyment of it being fun. And I really liked this one. Now, y'all, this is day 6. We only have one day left. I cannot believe we're almost there. It has genuinely been so hard being able to do like my normal day stuff and then finishing a book. Even though most of these books that we've been reading have been pretty short, none of them have been longer than 200 pages, but it still takes an hour out of my day every single day. And it really makes me appreciate people who can read books so quickly, because this was tough. We only have one more day though. One more day. Let's bring it home. Guys, it is the last day. It is the last day. Woo! Yes, I've had coffee already. Jeez, how did you know? What gave it away? I'm literally so excited though. It's not just the caffeine. It's not just the caffeine. I'm super duper excited because this challenge was hard, but we made it. Never back down, never what? Yeah. So today we are reading Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. This is a bookish book about books. This is about a young girl who's kind of having a rough time in life currently, and she decides to go live with her uncle who owns a bookshop. Now, she is not a bookish person, but living there slowly starts to change her mind. And now this isn't necessarily like a coming of age story, but she is a young woman who starts to learn and grow and evolve past the things that she thought she would never be able to get past. And we get to see that journey. And I think that sounds really beautiful, light and fluffy, but still a book where you'll be able to take something away from it. I think this is the perfect book to round this whole thing out because we've been reading some really tough books. I'm not gonna lie to you. Emotionally, I'm in the trenches. So a nice fluffy read sounds pretty good about now. So if you've made it this far, I just want to say love you big time. Please continue to like and subscribe. And if you have made it this far, leave a little book emoji down in below so I can see who is a real fan. All right, let's lock in. Never back down, never what? Yeah. This was so good. Oh my gosh. It literally felt like a warm blanket. It was gentle, it was sweet, and it was all about finding comfort in books and community. And after such an intense lineup, this was the perfect thing to round us out. But guys, we did it. I'm literally so happy. This was really tough, but I had a lot of enjoyable books. I think out of all of these, I think my favorites had to be What Feasts at Night, Small Boat, and Recitatif. Those were my favorites. Plus, we only had to donate one book and we still finished on time. So a win is a win. I'm very happy. Let me know in the comments below what book sounded the most interesting to you and what other challenges you might want to see. And as usual, please continue to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye. I'm going to sleep. The things I do for you.